Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Doc, during the break, kind of gave me a little bit of news that I got to say is surprising.
Yeah,
it's surprising and not so great. So
yeah, we have a couple of news items that we should have covered the first segment. One, I want to give a shout out to my dad. He's not doing all that well, and this is one tough hombre. And I've never really known him to ever complain about pain. Never really known him to, complain about much. And he's not doing well. So I'm going to ask everybody to keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to add to that having spoken with your dad, I think one time by mistake on the phone, he was calling looking for somebody else one afternoon. Which was a short, but I felt interesting conversation for about 5 minutes. But never having met him personally, I owe him an awful lot, and I owe your family an awful lot. And so I'm really sorry to hear that. He obviously means a lot to you and your brothers and the rest of your family, but he meant a lot to this community for an awfully long time.
Yeah,
and his legacy still persists with some of the folks that learned at his knee. And so
because I don't think there is a single, there might be now that he's been out of actions for so long, but there for a long time you couldn't swing a dead cat without running into some kind of legal group that learned through Dad's office.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he's had a tremendous impact on the Republican Party. There are a lot of the people back then when he was a young Turk and active in the Republican Party. A lot of those people are still serving. Chuck Grassley, Jim Lightfoot was a big one. Jim Nussel, and so all those people, were kind of part of that group. Another sad thing is Kyle's manager of Kyle's bike died after being hit by a drunk driver on Sunday. We want to, that's just awful. So our thoughts and prayers go out to them. And boy, there was one more thing, but I think that's enough tragedy.
Yeah, that is enough.
So if I remember what it is, I'll mention it later in the show. Oh, I know what it is. My brother Joe wanted me to clarify that he wanted me to tell the truth that he doesn't lick cakes. Here's what it is. He does lick them. He just licks your piece. And then for pies, you can always count on a finger in it. So that's what it is. So let's start talking about the Iowa State Fair. We'll get Trump out of the way.
Sure. Yeah. Go for it. So what's up with Donald Trump?
He's on a crusade to kind of rehab his image a little bit. You know how this is the modern era. You go out, you glad hand people and you kiss babies. Well, in this case, he gives kids rides on his helicopter. And unlike Hillary, where you have to have a lottery in order to be able to get into her events or be a giant donor, Trump just said, listen, line up your kids. We'll start flying them in the morning. And every kid gets, a 5-10 minute ride. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. And he had a shuttle because they wouldn't allow him to land at the Iowa State Fair, which is probably good.
Right.
And so he would shuttle kids from the Iowa State Fair out to where he was taking off his helicopter. And they would just go out there and they would very orderly get them on, very orderly get them off. Several of my friends' children have been on all over the news with this. And my favorite part, being a giant nerd, one of the kids, and I think his name was Liam, asked him, "Are you Batman?" And he looks at the kid and goes, "I am Batman." You can't beat that, right? What a way to rehab your image by taking kids out being a regular guy. Here's this guy who's
being a regular guy. I don't know too many regular guys that have a helicopter they can give kids rides on, buddy.
Well, yeah, but he's at least able to connect with these kids. I mean, you'd be surprised how difficult it is to connect with kids, and that's what I do for a living.
Well, fair enough, but you give the kids a helicopter ride, they go back and tell their parents all about it, and dad's sitting there going, "Well, I'd give you a helicopter ride if I could." I mean, I don't know. Yeah. He's not doing any favors with the people that actually vote.
And what's great about this whole thing, and particularly in the Republican Party, They may disagree with each other out in public, but there isn't anything nasty and vicious. Because Ryan Rhodes, we've had Ryan Rhodes on our show.
You mean in Iowa politics?
Well, generally in Republican politics, they aren't vicious in their attacks. That they don't get personal.
Unless you're Donald Trump. Is that where you're going with this? Because he's been pretty vicious this entire campaign. Yeah,
but he doesn't. I don't know how to explain it. He doesn't really drop it to a personal level because Ryan Rhodes...
He called Rick Perry dumb. I mean,
well, you know.
He called Megyn Kelly a lightweight. I don't know how much...
Well, she's not a presidential contender.
Well, he called Jeb Bush a loser. I don't know how much more personal
the truth hurts.
He called Marco Rubio overrated.
Let me finish my point.
Go ahead.
It's Ben Carson's head of his Iowa political campaign that arranged for a lot of these rides out to Trump's helicopter.
Well,
so, they seem to be working well together. So anyway, Trump is just basically trying to rehab his image. I think he did a pretty good job this time around. He's trying to keep his natural exuberance, so to speak, in check. Plus, he went and did his jury duty this week. So, I think he scored major points. He's up around 30%. And the guy in second place, Ben Carson. Here's Ben, just out there saying his stuff. He's another guy that says stuff that's off the wall once in a while. And, of course, anybody who is a threat to Democratic domination immediately gets crapped on by the Huffington Post. So I was reading an article today about how they're talking about how, oh my God, he's the worst thing ever. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, the reason he's the worst thing ever is because not only is he attacking the Republican leadership, which Trump does, and not only is he attacking the Democratic leadership, he's actually using a populist stance on a lot of these issues. So he's in second place, and I think he's somewhere around 18%. And then everybody else is below 10%. And so after this break, we're going to talk about how energizing these two men have been, at least to the Republican primary. We'll be back after this break. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.